So welcome back to Forza Motorsport 4, and welcome to kind of a new series on this game. Well, I say new, it's not. This is King of the Mountain Professional. So essentially, what I'm going to be doing is, rather than taking more production-based cars and sending them up Fujimi Kaido New Hillclimb, I'm going to be using race cars, and this is going to be the benchmark, the Suzuki SX4 Hillclimb. Mostly because I feel like this is the absolute necessary car. But the one thing really that I wanted to do was see how low of a PI car is needed to beat the Suzuki SX4. Because the thing, obviously, with Forza 4, it doesn't simulate like the thinner air at higher altitudes for less power, less downforce and things like that. So I feel like the Suzuki doesn't really get the great handling and braking that it should. Like when I have a look at the hill climb cars, they're glued to the road. As you saw the handling there, 7.4, it isn't that much better than a lot of the rear-wheel drive cars that went up for Fujimi Kaido. I mean, yeah, sure, the four-wheel drive cars are going to be worse off in terms of handling and braking. That's just typical. I mean, the fastest rear-wheel drive car, the Rossi Q1, is only slightly down in terms of handling. So, yeah, I feel like this is going to be an interesting series. So the rules of it is going to be very simplistic. I'm going to be choosing a whole bunch of purpose-built race cars. They are going to be driven in manual rather than manual with clutch, and that's it. I've pretty much got 3 runs to try and get them up for Fujimi Kaido as fast as possible. Whilst I am here, I will quickly talk actually about why the normal series sort of just ended abruptly. I didn't really mean for it to end abruptly. However, in Forza Motorsport, once you get to a certain level, it's like level 150, you no longer earn credits for leveling up. And I was just thinking, it's going to take a good while for me to buy the cars and then upgrade them and things like that. It's going to take a long time. So I kind of just stopped the series. I know this game can be emulated. People who know a bit more than me, does it run well? And can I cheat myself a lot of money? Because if I can, I might bring this series back into fruition. But that's for another time. So, Suzuki, you're going to be going up. Fujimi Kaido, New Hillclimb. Here we go. So, I was thinking about doing it in the latest Motorsport, because that now has Fujimi Kaido. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the volume, there we go. Just turn it down a little bit, because I know this game is pretty loud. I was thinking about doing it in the new Motorsport. However, of course, because that game doesn't have point-to-points, it's going to be a little bit trickier for me to really figure out the best way to actually time that. So I decided against it, because there would be a few more cars there, but mostly supercars and things like that. So there is that. Okay. Suzuki. I think I think it's meant to zoom in on the car, but it's kind of not done it very well. There it is. Right. 3 runs with this. I have been doing a little bit of practice to get myself re-warmed up with Fujimi Kaido, so I am familiar with the track again. God, this is bloody fast off the line. Now, of course, with the Fujimi Kaido, it is very narrow and very technical, which is why the 4-wheel drive cars tended to be faster than the rear-wheel drive. The rear-wheel drive cars, or the 2-wheel drive cars I should say, tended to be a lot more powerful, so they were a bit trickier to drive. However, they were, well, less understeery. So to be fair, a good amount of the rear-wheel drive cars were not far off some of the four-wheel drive cars. If I remember correctly, not a lot of all-wheel drive cars actually managed to get into the sub 4-minute 30s. I think there was only a handful that did. I'd have to rewatch the stream and things like that. If I was to bring back the series, I need to go through all of the times again and rebuild that leaderboard. That leaderboard is long gone now. So there is that. Like, okay, Suzuki, this thing, absolute bloody mental. If you don't know Hillclimb cars, they're absolutely ludicrous. Huge aero, obviously to deal with the less downforce when you actually get up the mountain. Four-wheel drive. I mean, this has 900 horsepower, and I forgot how much it weighed. Christ alive. But yeah, it's sort of like this car. It was an amazing DLC edition, but it kind of felt pointless because it was stuck at the top of, well, at the very bottom of R1 class. Oh Christ, that's quite a fair amount of understeer through there. Need to definitely pick a better line through there. Through the what? Through there. Let me get that sentence again. So you kind of couldn't really do too much with it. I believe you can probably drop it down to R2. I've no idea how good it actually is in R2. Because I mean, like when you're getting into that class, you know, you are dealing with GT1 cars, GTS cars, some of the fastest hypercars in the game. But, you know, you are dealing with a much faster race cars up there. So I don't know how good this vehicle actually was, because the main thing about it is obviously acceleration. It wasn't to do with the handling, and it wasn't to do with the braking, and the top speed, certainly not. Not to say that this has got a low top speed. I think it tops out at about 155-ish. Can't remember exactly off the top of my head. However, you know, is what it is, considering, like, the GT1 cars, if you built them to the top of R2 class, you're doing like 190 plus. I mean, I'm sure you could tune the gearbox a little bit, but I don't know. Was never one to chase leaderboards when I was younger, when this game was out in full force. Right, okay, let's see what speed we're going to be getting up here. Because, I mean, the fastest cars was doing like 130... Oh, God. Yeah, this is absolutely smashing it. 150 miles an hour. Well, that was actually pretty cowardly on the brakes there. I could definitely brake later. Right, okay, here we go. On through these corners. Ooh. Come on, Suzuki, we got this. It is actually pretty damn nice to drive. Just being easy on the throttle. Needed to be easier than that. A little bit of oversteer. We're fine though, it's four-wheel drive. Oh, round the final corner, keep it flat. Okay. A 4-minute 20.2. I'll definitely go a little bit quicker. Let's try and improve that a little bit. Oh, God. The main thing is, though, can I remember what the corners were called? Because it has been, like, 2 years since I last did this series. Well, the King of the Mountain. Yeah, so can I remember what the corners were called? I know I had the 4 hairpins. There was, I think, was it the River Chicane? Then it was Waterfall Car Park, and then Reservoir Straight. Hey, that was actually pretty good memory, if that is correct. Oh, God. Yeah, getting some airtime through there. I'm not surprised by that. Yeah, easy does it. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, of course. Not going to be tuning the cars. How they come out the box, that's what I'm going to have to put up with. It's as simple as that. Whee. Through we go. Okay, and get it through there. Lovely. On the brakes. Definitely be a little bit quicker through that. I mean, the main thing, of course, you know, I've got to still be relatively careful with the power. Sure, it's four-wheel drive. I can launch it through these corners with no issue. But the thing is that it's 900 horsepower, so I can't really be flooring it, because, you know, that a lot of power is going to just be dragging it wide a little bit. Now, I am aware there are some production cars up in this class. I might still use them, because it might be interesting to see how they get on. I'm not too sure. Mostly was just focusing on the race cars, but, you know, it could potentially be that I do throw in some of the very high-end performance cars as well. Okay, that was better through that chicane, through river chicane. Okay, come on, easy through there, getting through this hairpin, heading up towards the tunnel. Just floor it. That is the main advantage, though, that I definitely need to be using, is, whilst, yes, I still need to be careful with the power, at times I am just able to absolutely launch it out of these corners compared to, well, a lot of cars, considering the race cars I'm going to be pitting against this are all rear-wheel drive. So I cannot be doing this type of stuff. Those I'm going to have to be very careful with as well. Right, yeah, come on. Get yourself up this corner, Suzuki. There we go. Round waterfall hairpin. Well, I may have needed to shift into fourth. I'm not too sure. God. Go and get it round there. Relatively fine. Now it's just hairpin after hairpin. Alright, so Horizon 6, you're going to be set in Japan. These are the roads that you better be putting in. All of this tight technical stuff that is not wide. We are, you know, Toge is a massive thing. You cannot be doing roads that is just everywhere 200 miles an hour. The Volcano in FH5 was probably the best road in the entire game. So, you're sent in Japan, don't balls it up. Pretty much is the warning. 152 miles an hour that time. I'm probably still a little bit early on the brakes. I'm not too sure. Come on. Get through there at least. It feels like this is a better run. I'm not 100% sure though. I wasn't really looking at reference points, so I have no idea. Okay, easy does it. Oh, that is much better. Good grief. 3 seconds. Well, 2.5. Bloody hell, 417.6. That is going to be tough. That is going to be very tough. If I'm going to even just try and go quicker. There is definitely time. I think I was still quite, maybe overly cautious. But I'm very pleased with that time. There was a little tag on the wall there, you didn't hear anything. Oh god. Going onto one wheel. Through there, 140. Just gonna brake, put it in fourth. Turned in too early. That's a shame. Still not a dirty lap. Interesting. It's just glancing blows on the wall. 113 over the crest there. With the red crest. Getting a little bit of a slip angle there. Come on. We got this. Easy does it. I do remember that corner, actually. That is a bugger of a corner, with a small bump on the inside, and it being a double apexer. Well, that did feel better through there. These short gearing really helping out with the acceleration. Plus 900 horsepower, but, You know, like, oh, there we go. Now I finally got a dirty lap. Oh, God. Tough through there. That's actually another point as well that I've just thought. Good amount of the race car, not all of them, but certainly a high proportion of them are going to be turbocharged, aren't they? So turbo lag is going to have to be something to contend with. Actually, are there? I'm just no. I think this was a game that came up before the time where a lot of the GT cars were turbocharged. Oh God! Easy does it through there. 149 as we get out of the river chicane. That's a good run. That's a very good run. 50% and we're about 2 minutes 5. 2 minutes 6 I think it was. And just floor it. Just use everything this car has to its advantage. That was very close to the wall. Happy with that. Also as well, this car sounds amazing. Can we get this in Horizon 6? Can we get the Suzuki Hillclimb? I think that generally would be a fantastic addition. Considering the sort of, you know, the in Horizon games have obviously been adding more rally cars to Gymkhana cars, Formula Drift, which I think is perfectly acceptable. Perfectly fine for... I know it's not road legal cars, but Horizon never just been adding only road legal cars. Excuse me. But considering we were getting a good amount of rally cars, and we got a time attack car in Horizon 5, which I think could be an interesting thing to add just in motorsport in general, if they do decide to do another one. Adding proper time attack cars, well, the series, I think could be a good fun little addition. Okay, hard on the brakes, there we go. Now we're up Reservoir Straight. 152 was the highest speed that we did in the Suzuki. What we're going to be doing, 152 again. Yeah, that braking points feels about right. Easy does it, mate. A little bit of understeer through there, caused by the oversteer in the previous corner. Oh, come on. There we go. Just a couple of corners to go. I don't think this is going to be as quick. No, it's not going to be. But it's still going to be a good run. Ooh. Yeah, only 4/10 off overall. 4:18.0. But we take the fastest time, which was a 4:17.65. So, now it's time to send the other cars. Now, I'm going to be starting it a little bit slower. And then things are going to be picking up more and more as we obviously jump up the PI. However, that is going to be a interesting thing. Oh, can I not? Oh, there we go. Oh, I can't do it this way. Yeah, right. Search by the top of R3. What is first? U was in the previous one, so I'm not going to use U. See what I mean? McLaren F1 GT. I probably could get that into S-Class, but it's 4 million. R390 again, 1.2. Murcielago might be the same. Oh no, that's 450 grand. Yeah. Okay, first up is the V8 supercars. And because we don't have Holden anymore, Holden is going to be the first one. Bloody GM. Oops. Okay, to Holden. What one should I use first? You know what? Is there any difference, really? Nah, there's not. Okay, Pepsi Max. So, 3 attempts. Holden Commodore. The more interesting thing, really, for me, is how is this going to compare to the other cars? I forgot to have a look at the stats. I'll look at it at the end of the attempt. Right. Away, Holden. Let's do this. Let's see what 3 attempts can get with this. Of course, I'm not expecting this to be faster than the Suzuki. That is just unrealistic. Ooh, come on. lot of wheel spin off the line there. Oh, okay. We do not have a nice sequential gearbox in this. I thought there was a thing in the V8 Supercars. Yes, so 620 horsepower going through this. Yeah, this is sort of driving like it's a manual a little bit. Of course, this is, yeah, naturally aspirated, so don't have to worry about anything like that. Okay, 100 miles an hour. I think we approached it at 93 at the Red Crest. See how well you do. I think it might be a testament, really, to see how well the production cars held up. More specifically, the Rosian, which was, I think, the fastest rear-wheel drive car up the mountain. I need to check the live stream, to be honest. Do need to check that. Christ alive, because there may have been a faster rear-wheel drive car. Okay, yeah. It's not the easiest to drive this thing, however, it's got pretty long gears, so, you know, getting out the corners should relatively be fine, and it's not as if there's going to be, doesn't feel like there's going to be gear-related issues. Very nice, actually, in the left-hander, heading up to the 4 hairpins. Could probably take that corner a little bit faster. Right, okay, now this is where... Oh, that was a lovely drift, actually. Up that one. This is where rear-wheel drive cars are going to struggle a little bit. Is just trying to get out of these corners. So can we do it? Easy. Come on. We got into second gear. Should be huge amount of speed there. God. Whoa. Oh, now that corner a little wrong. But we're surviving though. Yeah, you can tell just the Suzuki, I think, was like, what, a 205 at the 50% mark. This is a 220. So yeah, this is going to be slower. Come on. Get up the hill. Oh, I think we may have been a little bit too slow, actually. Through that right-hander there, heading up towards the tunnel. Nice amount of power, just getting the back end kicked out. I know it's not conducive to a good lap time, but I guess the I think let's get the front end turned in. Yeah, I was expecting a little bit faster gear changes, I will admit, because I thought V8 Supercars were sequentials. Or did that come in much later? Because this is sort of driving like it's a manual. I'm probably very cowardly on the power at the minute. I mean, 620 was nowhere near. I think it was in the probably mid-table in terms of horsepower for the rear-wheel drive cars. I think a good amount was going up with like 700 plus. And, you know, they were leery all over the things, but they still had like good amount of handling. I think the if I remember correctly, the Lotus Esprit Turbo was one that actually did that have a good amount of power? Might have been a bit less, but was certainly lighter because it's a Lotus, so, you know, there is that. Okay, here we go. What speed are we going to be getting up Reservoir Straight? The fast cars were doing about 120, upwards of 130. Yeah, 133 miles an hour. That is very good going. I think... Oh, Christ. Ooh. Yeah, I think I am being way too cowardly on the power right now. Considering this is... So the Rosian has crossed the line now. Definitely need to be braver. Oh, God. Yeah, 100%. A 445.6. Nah. I would be expecting more from the V8 supercar. I can tell you that for free. I mean... I know that it's going to be either up on weight or down on power. But it's still a good power to weight ratio. So, no, I'd be expecting more from it. So, I am going to drive like there's more from it. Let's not be too afraid of that back end stepping out. I've dealt with a lot worse in the past on this series. Well, on the main series anyway. On the brakes. Come on. 95 miles an hour down the red crest there. Bit better. Ooh, come on. Yeah, because the main thing is, with this being an older Forza game, the cars have a lot more grip than the newer Forzas, so I should be able to... I need to be attacking these a lot more than I think. Come on. Get yourself up the hill, Holden. That was pretty nice through there. Could probably take a little bit more speed. Come on. Oh, easy does it. There we go. We're good. Just about hanging in there. It's a bit wide through that corner, so definitely a bit quicker. That is better through that left-hander there, up to the 4 hairpins. So let's actually try and get something done, mate. This should be getting into the 4-minute 30s. This really should be. Right, come on. I don't know how much of the time is really being lost because it's not manual with clutch, so that the gear shifting is going to be a little bit slower. But nah, I feel like that's the least of its concerns. That was better through there. That was about 116 miles an hour. I think the fastest cars were doing, what, about 118 to 120? Like the fastest in a straight line anyway. Ooh, come on. Oh crap, that was my stupid there. Easy does it. Nice and early on the brakes. Try and quell some of that oversteer. What? What am I trying to do? Because I'm hearing myself, I'm tripping over my own words for no reason. Easy does it. Come on, there we go. Come on. A lot of wheel spin out there, heading up towards the waterfall hairpin, but we're relatively fine. Christ. Oh, we're V8 Soup. Supercar, work with me. V8 Soup. I pretty much just said there, because I'm tripping over my own words again. Come on. First. Just absolutely launch it on the power. And we've got this section here, which I do remember causing a lot of issues, because there's just little bumps around there that's going to throw the car off completely. Come on. Nicely up the hill. And we should be getting some good speed there. This was about, what, 130? Yeah, 134. Oh, I locked the brakes there. Very much locked the brakes. That's going to cost some time. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised this is struggling up the mountain as much as it is. I would be expecting more. Should hopefully be quicker than a 445. I mean, it is 444.4, pretty much. Ooh, right. Definitely need to try and improve on that. Need to be a bit quicker through the corners, and I feel like I can lean on the power a little bit better than what I'm doing right now. But maybe... Because I mean, like, the thing about the King of the Mountain series was that it wasn't so much about the cars having a lot of power that made them fast. It was purely down to acceleration and how easy it could actually put the power down. That was the main thing. So I mean, yeah, this is sort of feeling like it's struggling a little bit to get the power down compared to a lot of the rear-wheel drive cars that were, sure, less powerful, but lighter. I think that's the main thing. It's sort of in this... The V8 supercar is in the middle band of... It doesn't have the most amount of power, so it's not so much the straight line speed that's going to get the... That's going to get it the time. But it's in this awkward ground where the back end is wanting to constantly step out on the power delivery, because it does have a good amount of power. Maybe I need to be shifting less as well. Come on. There was a good amount of oversteer through there. Managed to well it a little bit. The back tyres are getting lit up. Oh, I clattered a wall. That's going to cost some time. Hopefully not too much, though. I just couldn't. I just turned in too early. Couldn't really see the wall. Come on. Again, a little bit of understeer. Oh, 116 out the other end. So, I don't know. I mean, so far, I think, yeah, it's about on par with the other runs. Might have been a bit too slow through there. However, it's supercar. Go through there. I mean, to give the V8 to give the Holden one thing, it sounds absolutely remarkable. Ooh, Christ. It's very sketchy. Get you into first through here, and then head our way up to Waterfall Hairpin. Oh god. We got this, we got this. Yeah, I'm a bit shocked. I was expecting a little bit more. I will admit that, but it is what it is. I'm only allowed 3 attempts. Back end steps out a little bit more than I would like. So I'm trying to sort of attack it, but it's not fully cooperative. Compared to cars of the past. That felt alright. Right, well, let's not lock the brakes, and we should hopefully be a little bit quicker. 134 miles an hour this time out, so definitely better up Reservoir Straight. Yeah, our way through. Whoa. Christ alive. There's pretty damn sketchy. Very sketchy around the final corner though. Much better. Much faster run. Still not impressive. That's the thing. 442 0.7. Yeah, I don't know, I was a little bit surprised, but I mean, I suppose the Rosian was just very, very bloody good to drive overall. But it is what it is. I think... I don't know whether I was being too cowardly. It could have been that. Or... I mean, even the launch was quite bad. Let's have a look. Yeah. Alright, okay. I was a bit wrong. 620 horsepower and £3,000. Just about. Let's compare that to the Rosian. Yeah. So this is 474 horsepower. But it weighs 300 pounds light. 300 pounds less. Yeah, I think... Well, I suppose... Yeah, the launch was a lot better. As you can see there, the acceleration's really good. Yeah. I don't know. A little bit surprised by it. I was expecting a little bit more from it. But... it is what it is, I suppose. Well, saying that though, the handling and the braking isn't even that much better. I think it's actually worse than the Rosian. So there is that. However, I'm going to call it here for the video. I do hope you enjoyed. Any new feedback is of course appreciated. If you want to see King of the Mountain Normal return, do let me know. And I will try and get some time around to get that series back up and running. Or, if the 360 emulator works fine with Motorsport 4 and I can just cheat myself a lot of money, then I might be able to also do that as well, because there's a good amount of cars in this game that have not gone up the mountain that I think could be quite fun. However, that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for 700 subscribers, and until next time, ciao for now.